Welcome to the University of Vienna. I'm delighted to welcome you here to the Grand Festival Hall of our university. A very warm welcome to the members of the Diplomatic Academy. A warm welcome to all the students. You are now, in a few moments, you will be graduates. And a very warm welcome to you as families and friends of our graduates. You are coming from so many different countries. Welcome to the University of Vienna. This hall is the appropriate location for celebrations and special occasions at the University of Vienna. Today, graduates, you are the reason for our celebration. Graduates are a source of great joy for institutions which are responsible for education. At the University of Vienna, we are one of the largest and oldest universities in Europe. We have about 85,000 students in more than 180 different degree programs. We see it as our task to equip students with the best possible qualifications for the challenges the future will bring. Graduates should be able to become leaders and problem solvers of the futures with the scientific skills they acquire in their programs. We are celebrating with you the successful completion of our master's degree in advanced international studies. This program is based on a cooperation between the University of Vienna and the Diplomatic Academy of Vienna. And I'm therefore delighted to welcome our colleagues from the Diplomatic Academy, particularly Ambassador Dr. Emil Brix as the director and the program director, Professor Kornbrust. Very welcome. This master's program is an interdisciplinary program. It lasts 2 years. And what makes it so special and so interesting and so attractive for students, I think it's the combination of different disciplines, the interdisciplinarity, political science, international relations, economics, history, law, and so on. In times like these, the skills you have acquired in recent years are particularly very important for you personally and for our societies and the whole world too. We are currently living in challenging times. We are experiencing growing uncertainty, violence and wars, human rights violations and death. You have chosen a study program that teaches skills that the world urgently needs. How can we better understand others with their respective cultures and histories? How can we establish commitment between international institutions, between states? How can we build bridges between countries and regions that will last beyond the present moment? How can we prevent wars and protect victims? What kind of international legal system is needed to reduce conflicts? Every day we see the need for the skills you have acquired during your studies in the last years. Therefore, this is the day we can congratulate you on your graduation and hope that you can contribute to making the world a more stable place again. On behalf of the university, it's for me a great honor to finally say a thank you. A thank you to Ambassador Emil Brix. He will be attending an academic ceremony in his role as director of the Diplomatic Academy for the last time. It's a historical moment, I would say. On behalf of the University of Vienna, I would like to thank you very much for the exceptionally good cooperation between the two institutions. And I wish you all the best for your coming years. The cooperation was always constructive, solution-orientated, and above all, personally enriching. Thank you very much. And after this welcome on behalf of the University of Vienna, I would now like to hand over to the colleagues, who make the ceremony of the Diplomatic Academy, and I want to hand over to Director Emil Brix. Thank you very much.
Well, welcome from my side, soon-to-be graduates of the program the Astra. Welcome to the Vice Rector of the University of Vienna. Thank you for your very kind words. Welcome to all the family, friends, also the sponsors I see in the room. That's an important part of welcome. And welcome to my colleagues, the faculty from our academy, the staff preparing all of this. It's always one of the great moments at the end of an academic year when I can say welcome to you, to the students. This time, and that's very good to see, a big group, a successful group of students. It has been said it's the last time that I say welcome to students. So keep in memory, you were the last to whom I officially was allowed to speak here in the festive hall of the University of Vienna. It's an honor for me to do this. Certainly, I'm a bit sentimental in such a day, but actually it's all about continuity. That's what we need. Vice Rector Schnabl mentioned it. We're looking for a stable international order. And that has been one of the tasks of everybody who was educated from the very beginning at this Diplomatic Academy. And this does not change. A lot of people say democracy is failing, wars everywhere. My answer is always, also in the public, ask politicians why diplomacy is failing. Ask them. Diplomacy is a toolbox that you can use or not use. But the decisions are taken by the political leaders. So what we need is really to try to again and again talk about the advantages of why international relations should be seen as something that is able to create a global order which is stable. Yeah, have the patience to continue. You will have a lot of time to work on this. Use the toolbox that we tried to educate you with. Be curious, be critical, be inquisitive, be actually subversive. I always say to my students, if you are subversive, you have a real chance to have an impact on what's going on. And the best thing is to stay subversive is simply to read. Read. Not only what our professors write or I write. Read literature. Read literature to understand how human people tick. I'm not sure whether this is true, because when I look at what's happening in the global order right now, it is a strange situation, and I'm sure you shared in these 2 years how strange it is. We have someone who is the most important person of the world, who is doing what I would like to call trick or treat diplomacy. Trick or treat diplomacy. For him, Halloween has 365 days. He's always saying, yes, okay, if I don't get what I want, you get the trick. But this is something that maybe the reason why this program is called Advanced International Studies. I always wondered, what does it mean, Advanced International Studies? Now with Trump and Putin and Xi, I think it's well worth saying that advanced means also looking into how really international relations work, how important personalities are, what sort of differences you have between an authoritarian rule and a democratic rule. So there are a lot of choices to be made, much more than in the time when I was studying at the Diplomatic Academy. At that time, it was very clear. There was a West and there was an East. And please remember that there was a fundamental change before you were born. All of you, I think, before all of you were born in 1989, 1990. Which was not possible because of military might, hard power. It was possible because young people, maybe like you, thought that it's not a good situation, that we have to change it. I remember that someone of them, after the magic moment of Helsinki in 1975, 50 years ago, we are celebrating this year, in Vienna, by the way, Václav Havel, who was a dissident, Czech dissident at that time, wrote a book called The Power of the Powerless. He wrote it in 1978, after Helsinki. He wrote it because of his new dissident grouping of the Charter 77. And in that he said, actually, sometimes we all have to try to accept what's happening around us. But you can turn it, if you have the power, you can turn it around. And he gave the example of a Czech grocery store, a Czech grocer who showed in his shop window a sign saying, "Workers of the world, unite." Workers of the world, unite. And he said, no, what does it mean? Does it mean that he submits to communism, this one in the grocery store? Or is it a subtle way of saying, actually everybody knows that this is not true, what's in my shop window? but I have to do it in the given situation. So I think to a certain extent we are in a similar situation. You will have to make decisions how to react to what we call now in international relations disruption. That means you will have to make choices between the right and the wrong, much more than a stable situation where you know what is good and bad. So make choices all the time. I hope that the EA broaden your horizons and minds, especially for these fundamental things. But let me say that I am proud, and we are proud, of your group, international and diverse, 71 students, 31 countries, 4 continents, about 2/3 coming not from Austria, but from abroad, and a bit more female than male. I was not successful in creating more male substance here in our student body. I do know this may not be one of the priorities of our academy, but it would be good if there is an equal contribution from both genders. And your studies are as diverse as one can think of, and that is very typical for this school, and one of the good things of this school. It's law, political science, economics, languages, sinologies, philosophy, psychology, tourism, physics, computer systems technology, anthropology, archaeology, and some more. I'm sorry to say, only one historian among you. Shame on you. Yeah, but you had the chance with Professor Rowe to understand why history matters in such times. And you had so many special moments in this year. You organized your conferences, Stasi conferences. You negotiated a treaty on non-proliferation of nuclear weapons in a UN simulation. Good to do. Some of you went to exchange programs. 2 of you went to Stanford, 2 to the Sorbonne, 2 were in Korea, 2 to China, and 1 in Jerusalem. And we had also incoming students again, Stanford, Korea, Sorbonne, Denver University, Corbel School. So there is a permanent exchange, and that's the good thing about this academy. We don't live in normal times. I said some words about disruption. I said some words about diplomacy, being only in the back seat at the moment. I didn't mention a democracy. If there is something I would recommend you to do, work to defend liberal democracy. The way you feel it's right or wrong. Make it better. But defend it, because we don't have at the moment a functioning global governance. We don't have a just or functioning global governance. And that means that's really a battle that's going on at this very moment. And I think you are well prepared to take part in this. Just think about what happened yesterday in The Hague. 2 days before and yesterday in The Hague. It was the NATO summit. And think about the humiliating scenes we saw at this meeting regarding the most important person in the world. He was invited to the King's Palace. He was allowed to stay overnight, to have breakfast with the King and his wife. And then he was brought specially to the NATO summit. And all the other leaders, more than 30, had somehow to kneel in front of him. Because they wanted something. So this sort of humiliation, was it right by all the others? Was it wrong? I guess there are good arguments for both sides. And you might say, if you're in all the studies you did, you come from the realist school, any sort of realist school, you would say, yes, absolutely, that was absolutely right. Because power is the sole thing that counts in such a relation. And if the power is on the side of the United States, or ours feel, you should do it. You see, these sort of questions, they're not just questions whether we like it or not, that Europe has been humiliated at this NATO summit or not. What is the consequence? That's the question. What is the consequence? Are we safer, more secure, or not? Is it good for the survival of Europe? What does it mean for the Ukraine? What does it mean for our relations with Russia? There are so many questions coming out of seemingly small situations, symbolic situations. And I'm sure you learned how important all this is. And you did it in a way where I think you not only learned in all the academic courses, you learned in all the extracurricular work you did for writing your own student magazine, for working in about 20 different student committees, in all the tennis, table tennis, billiard activities, Heurigen, you went to tasting wine, playing in the DA band, sang in the DA choir. Very good, by the way. In February, you celebrated even the lunar year of the snake. And some of you went to the Pride Parade recently with the DA and Diplomats for Equality.
Test 1, 2.
You travel. I'm always in favor of saying the students have to be brave, make decisions. Yesterday we had the graduation of our diploma program. And one of the students in the first row wore a Palestine symbol around his neck. And I said, perfect, perfect. He tells people what he thinks about the given situation. And we did discuss all the time the situation in the Middle East. So if you decide to take sides, then you have to argument for it, a bit more than just wearing the scarf. But you can argue now, on wherever you think it's most important. I stop short here in telling you what you know better than I do. But one thing I would like to say that is important for all of this academy, the study trips. And this year, our main study trips went on the one side to the Balkans, which is our traditional asset, and on the other side we had a group going to Estonia. Why Estonia, some people asked me when we made the decision. The group which went there, they understood why Estonia. Because to experience the anxiety, the fear that exists in this small country about this person I mentioned already 2 times, too many times. Because they were afraid that possibly the Americans don't really help them if they are attacked. And that was very impressive, so different from Austria. The whole population feels that they have to defend something, that they have to defend their own country. Maybe in Austria, we should also understand that some more feeling of whether it's worth to defend where you live would be good. So these sorts of study trips, we also had a small trip to Kurdistan, we had a trip to Geneva, always a big trip to Brussels. These are an important part of all that. And I hope that you will all come to the Sommerfest tomorrow, our legendary Sommerfest. We did our best to provide you with the best perspectives, not only for the job market, but for your ways of thinking. I'm not saying out of the box, because everybody says thinking out of the box is the best thing. It depends. It depends. Sometimes you can find things in the box which nobody else found. And you understand, I mean, our whole system, the governance system that we have, is not really working. The United Nations system is not really working. But maybe before you destroy it, look into it whether there's a chance to really reform it. Maybe it's a task that you can fulfill, because in your student book you wrote that one of you is possibly as Secretary General of the United Nations. Good luck. I finish here with saying thank you. Thank you to the faculty for the hard work of these 2 years. We have a small faculty, strenuous work. We are trying to build up a junior faculty, important work. I say thank you to my administration. We did a lot of structural changes also in the last years, so thank you for keeping up the good work. And I say thank you to our sponsors, because I see here I mentioned two of them here in the second row. Herbert Kort, thank you, an alumni of this institution. Thank you for your help. Give him a round of applause. And I see a second one who is my predecessor, long time ago, I would say, Ambassador Leifer. Thank you very much for your continuous support and scholarship. He was the one really to thank, because he has made a legacy possible, because during his time as director, this diplomatic academy got its own law and became separate from the foreign ministry, which was a very wise and good decision. Does make it very difficult for every following director, and I cursed him many times, I have to say, but it was really the right decision. It gave us the chance not only to educate young Austrian diplomats, which is certainly important, but actually to become a real international school. Thank you. And certainly thank you to all the families, friends who made it possible for the students that they achieved what they attempted and aspired to achieve. I hope you enjoyed this time as much as I did when I was a student here, and you join us in our alumni association, the Club DA, because these two sponsors, they are alumni or directors here at this place, and that this gives you an impression of how important this family idea is. When we inaugurated 270 years ago, this academy was open, 271 years by now. We inaugurated last year in the festive hall of the city of Vienna, and there was actually one idea which was discussed there. We said it's about human rights, and Volker Türk, the High Commissioner for Human Rights, gave the inaugural lecture at the opening of this year, and what he said actually was very close to what I want to tell you, that per Aspera ad Astra, adversity, through adversity you reach the stars, is an ambitious motto, but it's the right motto, and now it's, as you know, it's a system where we have to decide, can we support, each of you, of us, can we support freedom against tyranny, or can't we do it? That's what Havel meant with the power of the powerless. And finally, at least at that time, it was possible, more than 10 years after the Helsinki moment, after Havel wrote this book, in a peaceful way to make a change towards more democracy. So I hope that you can contribute also doing this. And for your 2 years here, I hope it was not only Aspera, it was not only suffering and hardship that you experienced here, but that you had enjoyable, interesting, and rewarding times and years at the DA. I wish every one of you all the best for your future. You worked hard for this moment, so enjoy this ceremony, class of 2025. Thank you.
Good. Dear Vice Rector Schnabl, dear Director Brix, Vice Director Schubert, dear colleagues, dear family and friends, and most importantly, of course, dear class of 2025. It's a great pleasure to share this special moment with you and congratulate you all for your MAIS degree. This is an important milestone and you all worked hard to get there. And of course, besides transcripts and other forms of evaluations and diplomas, there are some other indicators that tell us how much you have been invested over the past 2 years in life at the DA. One of those indicators would be the amount of phone calls Ambassador Brix is receiving from angry neighbors that late at night have been disturbed by some noises originating from the Tipsy Weasel. But of course, what happens in the Tipsy Weasel also stays in the Tipsy Weasel. Some of you might feel relieved now. So just let me congratulate you all for your academic achievements and also for your great contributions to all facets of life at the Diplomatic Academy. As Albert Einstein reminds us, none of us is achieving anything meaningful alone. So I would like also to thank everybody in this room, all your family and friends who have helped and supported you. This is also, of course, a proud day for them. In this spirit, I would also like to thank our partner, the University of Vienna. This is our 28th now MAIS graduation. We have trained so many excellent, talented students over the years, and of course this would not have been possible without our great collaboration with Vienna University. So thank you very much. And the fact that every summer I see representatives from Vienna University in this winterly gown testifies of your strong commitment. We don't have any doubts. Thank you so much. So now let us quickly move from life at the DA to an observation of the state of world politics. On the 31st of December in 1986, then Chancellor Helmut Kohl gave his New Year's address that was televised by the German network ARD. Like some of his speeches, it's not remembered as a masterful oration, and it would be probably forgotten dust of history if not for one thing that truly made it stand out. The broadcast was actually Chancellor Kohl's New Year's address from the year before. This recycling of previous material might remind some of you to the lecturing style of our long-standing economics professor Werner Neudeck, but in this case it was not about skillful and masterful pedagogy. It was quite a public embarrassment, and not only had the TV station confused the tapes with the speeches, with the recorded speeches, But even when viewers started calling in, they couldn't tell the difference. And they really only realized the mistake they had done when Chancellor Kohl was wishing the audience a peaceful and happy New Year 1986. I'm not telling you this for the obvious point that we all make mistakes in life. The point that I would like to make is that the state of world politics today can hardly be refused with what we have seen in the preceding 3 decades. On a daily basis, we are confronted with global news about polarization, about war, worsening humanitarian crisis, and civilian deaths. One of my teaching assistants at the DA is a student from Ukraine, and many other young men in his generation, they don't look forward to graduation from university in a year to come, but to return to their families unharmed. There's a new narrative emerging in world politics, a narrative that national interest comes first, that might makes it right, and that international law is nothing but an impractical constraint. And this raises the quite fundamental question if we cannot do better. And to answer this question, we can consult with colleagues at the faculty, and they can tell you wonderful things about the benefits or the mutual benefits of international cooperation and the merits of investing in global public goods. But I think that the most valuable lessons about the benefit of cooperation doesn't come from the faculty, but from our students. You, the class of 2025, are not just a bunch of isolated individuals that happen to graduate at the same moment. You promoted the many traditions, clubs, and activities that make the DA such a special and vibrant place. And besides striving for your own academic excellence and merits, you also are joined together in the DA community by your collective experience of pleasure and pain at the DA. And when it comes to the pain part, I always feel that Professor Rowe's history exam somehow ends up figuring quite high on the list. But of course, there are also pleasures to be found at the DA. At our farewell dinner for Director Emil Brix some days ago, he emphasized in a rather brief, I have to say, address to the faculty, that we all retain our strong personal commitment to the Diplomatic Academy. On behalf of the Diplomatic Academy, and especially the faculty, of course, I would like to thank you, Emil, for your own commitment to the DA over those past years that have not exactly been uneventful. You are known to us for your passion for reading, for thinking profoundly about international questions and contributing to public debates, not afraid to make controversial arguments. I'm not surprised that the word dissidence and subversion figured rather prominently in your speech today. And knowing that a container filled with books has recently been lifted in the garden of your house in the Buckliger Welt, we are confident that you will remain a dedicated public intellectual also for the years to come and the next chapter in your life. We wish you all the best for this, and again, thank you very much for your service to the Diplomatic Academy. Dear class of 2025, during our study trips and public events, you demonstrated always a strong passion to debate political representatives and to question them about moral issues, and sometimes pressing them probably a little bit more than they had desired. So please carry your sense of community and this moral compass with you to the ranks of folk ministries and international organizations and private companies that so many generations of the ACE students have joined before you. And let us make sure that in the years to come, we do not feel reminded of a situation where a German television station has forgotten to switch the tapes, keeping entrapped in a spiral of war and polarization and the violation of the most basic international norms. Let us switch the tape to a brighter future. And if switching the tape of world politics sounds like a daunting enterprise to some of you, let us consider the advice of poet Robert Frost, who said on the occasion of his 80th birthday, "In 3 words, I can sum up everything I have learned about life. It goes on." In all the confusion of today, with all our troubles, all of us become discouraged, tempted to say this is the end, the finish. But life, it goes on. It always has, it always will. And if poets are not your thing, let us turn to the wisdom of the great tennis player Roger Federer instead. The former world number one won about 80% of the matches he played at the ATP Tour. In all these matches, how many points do you think he won, on average? Only 54% of the points made all the difference that he won in his professional career. So now that you will go out to conquer the world, let us be reminded that none of us wins all the points we play. As Professor Feldkircher can tell us from his recent experience at our DA tennis tournament, this is absolutely true. I could say the same about myself, but it's not as funny as talking about Professor Feldkircher. Couldn't resist, good. But if you all stay as focused, as committed and motivated as we know you from the DA, we are absolutely confident that you will win all the big points you need to succeed, to strive, and to make a difference. So on behalf of the whole DA community, we wish you all the best for the next chapter in your life. Have a great celebration. This is your day. Enjoy, and thank you very much.
It is now our great pleasure to call graduates of MAIS program. Erik Alexander Björn Alholm, Finland. Ata Alieva, Russian Federation. Catalina Arama, Moldova. Josefina Edinam Atorku Dogbe, Ghana. Nike Giulia Atanasio, Germany, Italy. Ines Atenede, Austria. Jolan Maria Bogani, Hungary, Finland. Juan Felipe Barrero Gutierrez, Colombia. David Kaji Garcia, Colombia. Ksenia Oana Kojokaru, Romania. Blanca Correro Graña, Spain. Shania Desai, India. Sofia Haushøj Ellebæk, Denmark. Matthias Gerhard Fiedler Sitchnik, Austria. Benjamin Karl Arthur Frohrmann, Germany. Milan Gajic, Serbia. Yekaterina Glagoleva, Russian Federation. Maria Fernanda Gonzalez Perez, Panama. Valerie Sophie Maria Grabenwarten, Austria. Julia Sophia Charlotte Grundthaler, Germany. Jakob Higger, Austria. Anna Maria Hirschhuber, Austria. Anna Hördenhuber, Austria. Zigna Bashar Ibrahim, Ghana. Kylie Chris Johnson, United States of America. Fabian Kastler, Austria. Marimar Kaimel, Austria, Dominican Republic. Julian Carey, Austria. Agota Kertes, Austria. Kusai Kamis, Syria. Ljubica Kostovska, Northern Macedonia. Diana Lackner, Canada, Austria. Lea Lembacher, Austria. Wallace Law, China, Hong Kong. Tobias Timothy Luiki, Austria, United States of America. Paul Meyer, Austria. Beatrice Minetti, Italy. Giulia Maria Monti, Austria, Italy. Patrick Jose Montoya, United States of America. Victoria Mroz, Poland. Veronika Nechaeva, Russian Federation. Florian Obkircher, Austria. Marlene Palan, Austria. Katya Palashevsky, Austria. Karem Lisbeth Paraga Espinosa, Peru. Sara Ksenia Aureli Pavlis, Germany, Belgium. Fiona Hayven Rishka, Austria. Sean Christian Roberts, Canada. Maybrit Anna Rosendahl, Germany. Juan Lucas Rumpf, Austria, Spain. Julia Salzmann, Austria. Ismoilbek Sarmusokov, Russian Federation. Maximilian Seder, Austria. Alexander Shepovalov, Russian Federation. Victoria Shurupova, Russian Federation. Damian Anthony Slobe, Kingdom of the Netherlands. William Southworth, United States of America. Nico Steiner, Austria. Marcus Dahlin Stilling, Denmark. Svetoslava Nikolaeva Stoyanova, Bulgaria. Elmar Suleimanov, Azerbaijan, Russian Federation. Thomas Thurnherr, Austria, Switzerland. Sergio Uribe, and now United States of America, Colombia, Spain. Luca Phileas Vetter, Germany. Armin Vogel, Austria. Alexander Weisskopf, Austria. Carlo Zangurashvili, Georgia. Denise Zwiauer, Austria.
Your Excellency, Ambassador Brix,
Your Excellency, Vice Rector Schubert, dear Vice Rector Schnabl,
dear professors,
Excellencies, dear friends and family,
and most of all,
dear MAIS 28, we did it! As we've gathered here today, it is on us, Julia and Paul, to reflect on the past 1 year, 8 months, 1 day, and 2 hours, which we have spent together to obtain our MAIS degree at the Diplomatic Academy of Vienna. We've experienced what felt like a lifetime of shared joy, tears, drinks, laughter, and weirdly specific facts about incredibly important historical figures. Lola Montes, to mention our favorite. And if we look back even further, 80 years to be exact, we find that the UN Charter was signed on this very day in 1945.
Just like this document, our cohort has been tested, stretched, and occasionally held together by nothing more than sheer willpower, or in our case, a shared Google Doc with way too many last-minute edits. We've learned to cooperate under pressure, resolve conflicts, and we've had our share of those, and support each other through long nights and tight deadlines. Like the UN Charter, we might not have had all the answers at the start, but over time, we built something real, a community based on trust, collaboration, respect, shared memories, and a very deep appreciation for coffee. Shout out to Ludwig.
Another aspect which can be seen as a parallel of our cohort and the UN Charter is the meaning of this year's motto, per Aspera et Astra, through hardships to the stars. This Latin phrase stands emblematic for the fact that our joint festivities today were earned by enduring various challenges which we have mastered through perseverance, creativity, and collaboration. First of all, perseverance, because we're all here today through our ability to navigate the stress of paper deadlines, society duties, exams, work and social life, which in itself is a very great achievement. Second of all, creativity, because some of us found very creative ways to get out of our attendance requirements.
But most of all, it was our collaboration which made us special. We started at the DA as a bunch of national and international students with various academic and personal backgrounds, walking into this very intimidating building, not knowing what to expect and where this road may lead us. But through many, many helping hands with expertise regarding exams, organization of study groups, and the occasional glass of water instead of a beer on a long night at Tipsy, we became a team.
It was this collaboration and spirit of cooperation which makes us special and led to our achievements. And if we see one thing in world politics today, it's that conflicts emerge when dialogue dies. We may have had heated discussions, but we had each other's back when it mattered, and we could always talk about our different perspectives. So it is on us to take this collaborative spirit into the world and reach for the stars. And we've decided to leave our analysis of the current state of the world at that. We've had a share of those already today. You can read our incredible theses as well if you want. Also given how unpredictable everything is and in an effort to avoid slipping too far into pessimism.
So today, we are 71 students graduating today. And with this number come 71 different strategies on how to navigate this institution, 71 different perspectives. Some of us opted to really give our all for student life, advocating for the student community, organizing balls, printing journals, throwing tipsies, making music, or even founding new societies. Others decided to rarely come to the DDA at all, which probably helped their mental health a lot.
We all had different experiences dealing with a new environment, culture, or language at times, working while studying or navigating personal challenges. But all of these 71 ways, different ways, are valid. Some might have been more academically effective than others, but at the end, they all achieved their goal, which is why we are all here today. Our diversity is our strength, because all 71 of us brought something unique to the table and made our community what it is. This intercultural element is something truly special and something we should not take for granted.
Finally, we want to thank each and everyone who made this milestone of our academic career possible. Beware, it's a lot of thank yous. On behalf of our entire cohort, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to Ambassador Brix. not only for his guidance and support throughout our academic journey, but also as he marks his final graduation in this role. And that in the Jubilee year of 270 years of the Orientalische Akademie and 60 years of the DA. It's an honor to be part of this moment with you, and we thank you for the legacy of excellence and diplomacy you leave behind.
This graduation would likewise not have been possible without the incredible support of our professors. I bet that sometimes they felt even more neglected by some of us than our birthday child, the UN Charter. But we sincerely thank you for challenging us, guiding us, and occasionally tolerating our frantic last-minute questions at the Q&A sessions, or even later than that. Your dedication, patience, and expertise have not only shaped our understanding of the world, but also our ability to engage with it thoughtfully and confidently.
Another heartfelt thank you goes out to the whole team of the administration. Thank you for being the steady engine behind our academic experience, organizing, coordinating, reminding, and sometimes rescuing us when deadlines blurred and bureaucracy loomed. Your behind-the-scenes work made our journey possible, and we're really deeply grateful.
Now on to the biggest group in this Festsaal, our beloved friends and family and partners. I think I speak for all of us when I say that you were the most important and incredible help throughout this journey. Thank you for your unwavering support, for cheering us on from near and far, and for believing in us even when we were sleep-deprived, stressed out, and surviving on DA coffee, which is never a good thing, but sometimes a bitter reality. Thank you for being there for us when we struggled and celebrating our achievements when we succeeded, especially today. Your love carried us through more than you know, and we cannot put our gratitude into words. Thank you.
Thank you also to Dazi for tirelessly advocating for us, for bringing our community together, and for communicating openly, always. Another thank you goes out to Wallace, Milan, and Paul, who did an incredible job as our course speakers over those 2 years.
And finally, let's thank us. Our incredible colleagues, friends, companions, sometimes co-conspirators and idols who are sitting here in front of us, or better, to the sides. We didn't need a formal charter to know what mattered. Just mutual respect, too many group chats, and the occasional meme-based diplomacy. We cannot express our gratitude to all of the moments we got to experience together. Our shared journey took us from Gumpoldskirchen to Tallinn to Erbil, from Brussels to the Balkans, and for some of us even to places like Seoul, Beijing, Paris, or Stanford. But today, we stand and celebrate as one.
At the beginning, we were strangers, but today we are bound by friendships which I hope will have a stronger commitment than the UN Charter. Although that would not really be difficult, would it? Maybe the world needs more tipsies, after all. But seriously, as long as there are people like you out there, not all hope is lost. As long as we value our diversity, openness, and dialogue, we can deal with hardships. Wherever we might end up, which positions we might hold, and which policies we might have to defend, we deeply believe that the DA has equipped us with the tools to stand our ground, to fight for our moral values, and to highlight collaboration rather than dispute. In the spirit of the preamble of the UN Charter, to practice tolerance and live together in peace with one another.
So let's walk forward, armed with conviction, humbled by this journey, and forever united by this chapter we wrote together. Because if we could survive thesis deadlines, policy simulations, and diplomatic receptions on very, 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 very little sleep, there's truly no challenge we can't face. Not even establishing a new global order, just like the UN Charter did exactly 80 years ago. Remember, through hardships to the stars. Congratulations, dear colleagues. Now go on and out there and make the world a little wiser, a little braver, and a little better than the UN Charter. Thank you.